Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning. Even though Chris might not get this up till the afternoon or whenever, I don't know how far behind we are. I know he just handed me another bunch of comments, and I appreciate them very much. So I know this one friend of ours here, she says, it's hard to be hardcore. It is hard to be hardcore, you know. And let me tell you, I don't judge any of you on that. When you were going after something important, especially your neurological cases and cancer cases, those are the two that are really need to be hardcore, because those are really serious issues. And so I'm really hardcore with those issues. Most everything else I'm not so hardcore, because I realize the way we've been conditioned through generations, actually, and the cells have been conditioned. So, there's no need to, it's nice to get focused. I was really focused when I first started into this. I was extremely self-disciplined, but it unbalanced me. And it was important to go there, though, and that's why some of you that I see get there. It's okay. It's okay, because it's just the nature of the beast here. So let's go through this, get some more, because you guys are coming up with some new questions and some good questions, and I really love that, because I see you guys as the future and the now, the future and the now. And this one comment by a gentleman who's working with his friends and working with people. They say that I don't have any credibility here, that they like Dr. Oz and all these people, and it's like, it's okay, my friend. I've been called probably every name you can imagine through the years, particularly by medical doctors, but I'll be honest with you. Dr. Oz is great. He's kind of a new kid on the block. All these people have their own things. I watch Dr. Oz's show. He comes up with some good stuff, Is he a deep tissue detoxifier and cellular regenerator? No. He hasn't had the years we've had in here, but is he a good dude? Absolutely. All these people that are developing and opening up to these areas are good people. Deepak, a great doc. But do they know the deeper levels of tissue regeneration? No, they don't. Dr. Wild, no, he doesn't. Are they on the path? Absolutely on the path. And so I can tell you this, and without ego, I think, every religion is different on this planet, obviously. And what's interesting is the human consciousness, not you, the human consciousness is still very constipated, in that mine is better than yours type of thinking. However, it is all just simply levels. It's just like school. What you see around you is creation, and it reflects all these different levels of creation. And so there's first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade. There's all levels of development. And as it is with awakening, there's all levels. So when some people say, I wish I'd have known this because my mom died, it wasn't meant to be, man. I can just tell you have to look at it that way, or you rip yourself apart. You just have to realize things are as they are and will be as they will be. And the more you let go, then the power of God flows through you even more. And then you can get more things done, but not for you as much as good for the whole. When it's good for the whole, you notice it works, but when it's me, it doesn't work so easy. So it's all about what's good for the whole. Another thing I like to say, when people talk, and this one guy was addressing Leo yesterday, Leo, there's a few things that I think is important to learn, and that is before you say something, because you can get real direct with people, and it's okay. I don't mind you getting direct with me if you don't mind me getting direct back, because that's the way it goes, see? That's just, and I try to not get that way, but it's okay. I don't mind these kind of questions. But I don't want everybody else to get caught in the vibration of me responding back, because I want to keep this a loving site. But one master once said to me, he said, before you speak, think, is it kind? Is it true? And is it necessary? And I think I've always had that in my mind. Before I say something to somebody, I always say, is it kind? Is it true? And is it really necessary? And so it might be necessary for your own ego. You'll see me slip here and do that once in a while. I'll just get carried away with that, and I don't mean to. But after years and years and years of this, you kind of get, sometimes it just gets you and you respond to it. That's all there is to it. I like to pass these things off, and so is true with the gentleman that was talking about his friends, and he was having a hard time with them. It's okay. I can tell you that you're on the top of the mountain here. You will not find a higher healing system than what you're doing. You can find different herbal formulas. You can find, maybe there might be better ones out there. Who knows? We might be able to come up with better ones. But in terms of detoxification, you got the fruits and water fasting, and there's just nothing else. There's nothing there. There's nothing out there. And when you understand the simplistic nature of the human body, bunch of cells, two major fluids take care of the health of the cells, and there's only two sides of chemistry, and you really get that. And you realize these two major fluids invade all cells head to toe, and that chemistry invades the body head to toe, and you start looking at this. It's generally location, 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 but trauma. This one case yesterday about this poor young girl that was born with cerebral palsy from the cord or the wrapped around her, not having oxygen, and she's going to do well. And you can rebuild these tissues, and this is the problem. Man lost his faith of healing, and now these generations are passed so long that some people just don't have a clue. When you say regeneration, they're going, what? They don't have a clue, because medical doctors are not into this level of work. They're into their level of treatment with toxic pharmaceuticals, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Homeopathy should replace allopathy. It's just that simple. But you guys understand this, and you have to be understand that you guys are ready for this. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's a process, but you'll find that I've had 40 years of trying everything. I'm a biochemist. I've tried everything out there. I mean, when I get something across my desk, this is a wonder nutrient, da-da-da-da-da. You hear this all the time, Whitaker, all these other wonder nutrients. Try them. You'll end up coming right back to where I'm sitting, let me tell you, because in 40 years, and if you're like me and you have the desire to help people be healthy and well, then you try things. Even though you know simplicity, you sometimes, oh, look what, this could be, I'll try this. But I can tell you, I always come back to this same chair, and that you're on the top of the mountain, no matter how you look at it. And so everything else is way down the street, and nobody regenerates well. So you guys have the keys, and if your friends or your people you're talking to don't get it, it's okay. They will or they won't. Doesn't matter. If they do, they've helped themselves tremendously. If not, they're not awakened enough yet. And it's okay. It's not meant that everybody awaken at these higher levels, I can tell you. There's all kinds of levels out there, and that's why you see all kinds of religions, philosophies, and all these things, and I respect each one of them, because somebody's getting off on that. That's really ringing true to them and helping them, and that's important. Sometimes you'll follow a teaching to a point and it doesn't help you anymore. You've grown beyond that teaching. You can grow beyond your teachings. You can grow beyond Christianity. You can grow beyond Buddhism. You can grow beyond all things material. You can go beyond religious concepts and ideologies and philosophies and things like this. These are cool things on the road to God consciousness. But eventually you have to set it all aside and be God conscious. Without any tools, any crutches, any masters, anything in between, you must finally not separate yourself from the Supreme Being. You, God. Once you eliminate that, you're home. And that's where you want to be, is home. So let me start to go through these, and I only have 15 minutes or so here. I apologize here. Good question was about food combinations. And I always respected the natural hygienic people. Had some great concepts with food combinations. I really only focus on two, bottom line, because if you follow those two, it really encompasses most everything. The first one is simple. Certain foods just simply digest faster than others. That's just the way it is. Fruits are one of the fastest digesting foods on the planet this side of melons. This is why you always hear that old saying, eat melons alone or leave them alone. Because like this morning I had watermelon. Now somebody said that I'm kind of fat for just eating blueberries and watermelons. I don't eat blueberries and watermelons. I eat grapes and bananas and things like that. I eat other things. I eat some cooked foods. I eat some vegetables. But there was a guy in town that had a bowl of oatmeal for breakfast. And he was about a 70-year-old dude. He had a bowl of oatmeal for breakfast, still a little hungry, so he asked his wife, he said, honey, you got any watermelon in the refrigerator? He's kind of craving some watermelon, you know. And so she said, well, yes, honey, I do. And so she brought him out a piece of watermelon, you know, and he ate the watermelon. He said, well, honey, I got to run to Home Depot, and I just need to pick up a few things. I'll be back in about an hour. Well, a couple hours went by, and he didn't come back. 3-4 hours went by, and husband no show, so she's getting concerned, and the phone rings. And of course it's the local sheriff's department. And the deputy said, you looking for your husband? Is this Mrs. Such? She said, yes, I am. He left this morning for Home Depot and he hasn't been back. He said, well, I arrested him this morning for DUI. She said, what? My husband doesn't drink. He said, well, that's what he's been telling us, but his blood alcohol level is above the acceptable range. She said, that's impossible. Well, he took this to court and won his case, and he proved that certain foods digest faster than others, and that those sticky, gluey oatmeal is going to be in there a while, and that watermelon, it was going down quick. Well, there was nowhere to go. So the sugars fermented, and of course his blood alcohol and blood sugar went way up. And that's the thing with diabetics. You must watch how you combine your foods. So we create a lot of alcohol. I remember this case where this lady was driving on the wrong side of the road. She was in a van with a bunch of kids, and she killed a whole bunch of people. Herself, her friends, a bunch of kids. And so they're really reaming her for being a closet alcoholic. And her husband says she doesn't drink. She maybe smokes a little weed, but she doesn't drink. And then her attorney on news was saying something about she had big sores on her legs, and no one was relating this except me. I was saying, you know, this lady had big-time lymphatic and kidney and adrenal problems. She probably combined her foods wrong and poisoned herself. And another case that'll link to that is an airline crash down in Colombia. There was a pilot crashed a jet airliner into a mountainside, killed 69 passengers and 7 crew members. And I read about this in the newspaper. When the FAA investigated this crash, they couldn't find anything wrong. They finally thought that it was the pilot's breakfast that had created alcohol poisoning in him, and some guy, he lost his senses or something. And this is what the story was talking about. And it's like, wow. This is just another confirmation of when you combine your foods wrong. Let's say you had blood sugar problems, weak adrenals, and you're not metabolizing sugars. Suddenly you're combining these foods wrong.